Hello crafters, this is Jane Fires with Fun Stamper's Journey, Independent Coach. Today I want to review a little bit and show you that the video we did previous showed you how to make the box. This is our Christmas box that will hold a gift card. Now to go with our box, we wanted a card. So now we're going to do this particular card right here, and it has a lot of different things to it, but believe me, it is not hard to make at all. It is very, very easy. The products that we're going to use to make our card will be Most Wonderful stamp set. It is in the Christmas catalog, and it is lots of different little pieces to it. You can see that I've already taken out a lot of the little pieces that I'm going to use on making this card. But it also has the words, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and that can be used for any Christmas card at all. So we're using that stamp set. Another stamp set that we're using is Holiday Joy, and it's all words. And again, we used the Merry Christmas, and I showed you how I made it a little wavy for our box. Now we're going to use the Happy Holiday stamp set on our card. And I've turned it over because this is the one I'm going to use, and there's that Merry Christmas that we used on our box. This is also a new stamp set, and it is in our Christmas book. Then the dies that we're going to use today, again, are the Bloom Cluster die. And I showed you on the box, we used the gold. Now we're going to use the red plus a little bit of the gold. I think I want to add just a little gold to this card. Then the other thing that we're going to use in this card are the stitched circles. Now what's nice about these is that you actually have the cutting circle and you have the stitch circle. And these circles go with our basic journey set of circles that we have in the big catalog. And this was a new stamp set in our big catalog this year. So you can see you can do a lot with it. This one I simply stitched one line. On this one you can tell I pierced it and then I stitched it. So this is using all of our circles that we have in our new catalog. So that's the other die we're going to use today. And then another one of our new dies is, of course, the branch and cone die set. All right, and this one you can use for a lot of different things. And I've used it for the box, and of course I'm going to use it for this one as well. The thing is, the cones only have the fancy cut outside, and so what I do is I glue them down onto a darker piece of cardstock, and then I fussy cut them. So we're going to be using all of those today also. So those are the dies and things that we're going to use. Now, there is one new machine that I want to show you, and I received mine last week, and it is our new Platinum 6 die cutting machine. Now what is neat about this is it's not very heavy, and when you open it up, the platform folds down. So it's much easier to store than our Amaze machine was. This machine comes with your rubber mat and your embossing plate. It comes with 2 cutting plates, and it comes with a Platinum 6 main platform. However, unlike the Amaze machine, this one has no magnets in it. So your dies will not move around. However, good news, because the Amaze machine that is magnetic can also be used in this machine. So really, if you have the Amaze machine and you get the new Platinum, you have 2 platforms that will work in one machine. So you can have it with magnets or without magnets. So this is one of the unique things about our Platinum 6. So to show you how easy it is, I'm going to put in the platform. I'm putting in a cutting plate. I am putting in a piece of forest green cardstock. I am putting on one of our branches that we're going to be needing, and I'm going to wind it through. Very easy to do. Now, because I have my scrap paper underneath here, my grid paper, if I had this direct onto my table, this machine would not move. And I know that because I've used my new machine a lot already. Okay, so there it is, and I now have my branch totally cut out. So all I have to do is pop it out. So that's the new machine. So I can fold it up because we're totally ready to go. But I wanted you to see it because it is in the new catalog and it is now available. And so if you're interested in this, one of the neat things about getting this machine is if you have a $400 party, you can get this machine at half price. And that is an excellent buy. So here it is, very light, a new machine. I'm going to set that aside. Now the cardstocks that we're using today are oatmeal cookie, and we're using it for the front, and we will stamp on this one. We are using a base card of Kiwi slice. We are using our white whipped cream for the inside. I use the hazelnut blend for the backing of the pine cones. And I use candy apple for our little berries. The other thing that I used the oatmeal cookie for was, of course, the top of our pine cone, the fussy cutting part. And I did use that. Okay, to get started with our card now. First thing we're going to do is our oatmeal cookie, and it's our top layer, and it will go on our base card. And what we are going to do with this one to start with is we are taking our oatmeal cookie ink, and several of these stamps that I pulled out, we're just going to randomly stamp onto our base to make our background. Now, one of the things that I always do when I'm doing this sort of thing, because I want to make sure that I have room for my circle, is I sort of eyeball where my circle is going to go. And I lay it down because now I want it more in the center. But now what I want is I want around the outside some of these stamps to show. So I lay it down and I just pick a corner up. Okay, that one will work there. Oh, let's try some little leaves right here. Let's put another little leaf over here. And let's put on some little branches so they show through from underneath our circle. And again, I'm just doing these randomly so that basically you can do them anywhere you want them on your card. I do like to stamp some of the things off a little bit. I think it just makes your cards look a little nicer. Put in a few little leaves. And this is one of the little poinsettias from that set. And some little berries by the leaf. I think that looks pretty good. So there's my background now, and it's fully stamped. And because I'm going to use my little berries and my little branches here, I'm just going to clean them off with some baby wipes. And that's what I do when I'm stamping. I use little baby wipes, and then when I'm done I can use my cleaner to clean them good. So there's the base of my card. So I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm taking our tape runner. Now remember, when you use our tape runner, you want to tilt it either right or left so that it cuts off the end of your tape neatly and nice. And the reason for that is our tape has little lines. It's a little line tape. It's not the little balls like some of the tape runners are. So you always want to go either right or left. So this is now put on my base card, leaving a little bit of green showing on both ends. So there's the top of my base card now. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of our corrugated paper and a piece of our red, and this particular red is a little bit darker red. It's a cranberry color, and I'm going to turn over my corrugated using our craft glue. And the reason for this part that I like the craft glue is my craft glue gives me a few seconds in case I don't like exactly where I've put it. I can change it. Where if I've used my tape or my glue runner, it doesn't always want to let loose. So what I'm doing now is taking my glued piece, my corrugated, and I'm going to put my corrugated one at the very bottom and to the left edge of my red. And I can adjust it if I need to. And there it is. I just want a little bit of the red showing. Turn it over and do the same thing on the back of the red. And I will center this on the front of my base card. And press it down for a good fit. And that's ready to go. Then on my circle that I did, okay, you can stamp the words and color them however you want to. I already have one of those done. What I did is I cut it out, and around the edges I put a little bit of the green ink, the Kiwi slice. I used red for my words on this one, where on the other sample I used green. Okay, so I used red on this one, green on that one. And this circle was larger. I made a smaller circle because I liked it better. So on this one, it's ready to go. Then I used on that one my red berries. So on this one, I'm going to use some red, but I'm also going to use one of my little gold berries just to give it a little more bling. So now I'm ready to start putting things onto here. So I have my green branches, I have my 2 pine cones, I have my ribbon, which is our So Plaid ribbon. It's in our book. It's nice for Christmas because it looks Christmassy. So now all this is going to go on the front of my card. So first that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 3D foam squares. These are of course my medium ones. I'm going to put 3 of the medium size onto my circle. Take their backings off. And I want to center this so that some of my little stamps show from behind it. Then, next will be my green branches. Again, I gotta decide how I want them to go. And a red berry there. And I think I want to cut this one right there. Because I want my happy holiday words to show. And then as you can tell, as you're doing this, you've got to kind of decide how you want everything to fit in. think I'll put those on that side. So what I'm going to do now is take some of my glue dots and put them on the back towards the bottom of my branch, because my branches are going on first. And then my berries are going to go on. And then my pine cones, and my pine cones again will be popped up. So on my pine cones I put one big one and then one of the little pieces that I have cut towards their point. And on the small pine cone I cut one of my medium size in half. So I'm putting it there. Putting my big pine cone right there. I'll put my little pine cone there. And again, on my bow, I'm going to use my craft glue because I can hold it and adjust it for a few seconds so that I know I have it right where I want it. I'm going to hold that right there for a minute. Now, I look down here and I can see the end of my branch, and I don't want to see it, so what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm just snipping it off. And then holding my bow in place, I can trim my edges the way I want them. Because remember, it will take your bow a couple minutes to dry here. And there's our card. Happy holidays. So now what I need to do is the inside. So I'm going to open up my card. My bow still isn't quite dry, so I do need to be careful there. I have a piece of white cardstock now to go on the inside of my card. And as I said, I'm going to use 2 branches and the berries. So what I'm going to do is use our kiwi green. And stamp this particular branch towards my 4 corners. Then I'm taking the other one, which goes the other way, so it makes a nice complement because they go together. And then in the middle of my branch, I'm going to put a few red berries using my candy apple. So now there's the four corners decorated. So now I'm going to take my words, which are wishing you peace, love, and joy. And because on the outside I stamp my words Happy Holidays in red, I'm going to take my Kiwi green and you always want to make sure that you've got a good inking. The words on this one are unique because they're just a little different. They're not completely solid. But I want to make sure that I have all my words inked well. And then I simply stamp it down. And there they are. So now with this one, I'll turn it over using my tape runner. And because I'm right-handed, I always tilt my tape runner to the right. If you're left-handed, you'll probably want to tilt it to the left, but either works. You just need to make sure that you tilt it. Put that in on the inside, and there's the inside of my card. Decorated similar to my outside. Now the other thing that I do with my cards, after I put them together like this, and this card in particular, because it was a card I used for a class, I give all my ladies that come to classes a micro journey glaze. And I tell them, okay, now you need to put glaze on your berries. However, you need to take your card home today. So when you get home, that's when you put your glaze on. And the reason, of course, for doing that is because that way in the class or on their way home, they do not smear this. Because your glaze, obviously, you do not want smeared. Well, that one's empty. And these go a long way. Let me tell you, I've used that little one. I can't tell you how many times, a lot. So here's the new one. I just clip off the top and press it down and do my berries. There are my berries glazed. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. You can reach me at my email address, which is serif, S-E-R-I-F, 1@AOL.com. All the products that I've used today can be found on my website at funstampersjourney.com/angelhugs. This is the two cards right here, and as you can tell, they're a little different, but that's what makes card making interesting. So I hope you have a great and blessed day.